How's it going? Welcome to Beach Investing. I am your host, Andre Angelkovsky, and today we're going to be talking about investing in Vegas and other dumb things to do right now. I know it's a funny title, but the funny part about it is that on a regular basis I hear people talking to me about the interest in investing in the States. Their interest in investing in Florida, Vegas, Detroit, all primarily because they are so cheap. But let's get right into it. There are a number of things that I today believe that are not really good things to do. In fact, I think that they're pretty dumb to do. So let's start off with one of them. First, investing in properties that do not cash flow. When you look at a property and it's a hot market, we tend to think, well, you know what, it's okay, I can buy this property and it won't cash flow. Maybe it's negative $100 or $200 a month, but you know what, it's going to go up in value. In 1 year or 2 years, it's going to be like double the price, so I'll make my money then. Well, you're guessing, you're hoping, you're not investing. I'll give you an example. I purchased I don't know if you guys know, in Edmonton, I think it was in 2007, Edmonton was just going nuts. Like, I think in 1 year it appreciated by 72% on average. So yeah, I bought a place in Edmonton when it was in the bottom, and I also bought a place in Edmonton when it was at the top of the market, the peak, like in 07. And you know, some people, I bought I'm grateful that the properties that I bought were cash flowing, but I know a lot of people who bought in Edmonton where they were negative cash flowing and hoping that they would still that wave that was going there, that was appreciating for so long, or so short but so high at the same time, that it was going to continue going. But what ended up happening, as we all probably know, is that it started dipping. It went back to normal level. So people that bought with negative cash flow are probably kicking themselves, saying, geez, you know, I got caught up in the emotions of it, as I was talking about the last video blog, the emotions of it. Or they were just getting caught up in hoping that they would continue to appreciate, when that's not the case. So if you buy properties that don't cash flow, well, think again, okay? The second thing I think that you should be very cautious before you buy is pre-construction condos. There's a whole whack of them being built over the last few years, and there's a lot of them that are going to be ready and built over the next following years. I know a lot of investors who are picking them up, saying, well, I'll buy it before it's built at pre-construction values. And they're saying, yeah, you always get a deal, and when it's ready in 1, 2, 3 years, it'll go up by $40,000, $50,000 or $100,000, and I'll sell it. Well, you and 70% of the other building who are thinking the same thing are going to be putting it up on the market when it's built and trying to sell all at the same time. So yeah, you know what? During the years where that boom was happening, what I like to call it, or even Rain calls this, the Tiger Woods years, which is probably between 2005 and 2008. Anyone that bought during that time, any fool who bought during that time, would have made money. Because that was the year that everything was just going up in value. It was just the boom. But now it's different. Like, you know, over the last couple of years, we've been having a recession and a little bit of a slump. But you know what? Certain areas are maintaining or pretty stable and strong, but there's other areas and other types of properties that are, you know, on the big, you know, wobbly side. They're not that stable. So you have to be careful what you buy right now, because you're not just going to make money by just hoping that you buy a pre-construction property or a condo and then in a year or two it's going to go up in value. That's not necessarily the case, because in the last couple of years, there have been builders who actually have been offering incentives, such as, you buy a condo, we'll give you a car. Or, you know, when people are buying brand new houses in the summer or spring of 2007, you couldn't negotiate anything with the builder in terms of upgrades or anything. A year later, literally, people who were buying, the neighbors to my house when I bought, they were getting upgrades for free. They were, yeah, sure, no problem, just buy the house. We'll give you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 worth of upgrades. So it just shows you how when things get a little tough and the market starts getting a little wobbly, you know, you got to be careful. You're not always going to be going up in value. You just don't hope and don't guess, you know, invest. It rhymes. So, as the title of this blog says, investing in Vegas and other dumb things to do right now. I don't know if you guys are aware that there's a lot of foreclosures happening in the United States right now. I'm gonna name you. There's a statistic that I heard in January of this year. So January of 2011, I heard a statistic, and it says that basically the top 4 states in America right now that are suffering with high foreclosure rates. The 4th worst is Michigan. That's right, Michigan. And the 3rd is California. The 2nd worst is Arizona. And they all are roughly around 1 out of 200 houses are in foreclosure. Approximately, okay? Do you ever wonder what the worst state is right now that is suffering from the most foreclosures? That's right, Vegas, baby. 1 out of every 84 houses is in foreclosure. That was in January of 2011. There was a statistic that came out that proved that. What does that mean? It means that the jobs are decreasing, and these foreclosures apparently are nowhere near the end. This is just going to continue going. We're not sure for how long, but you have to be aware of that before you start jumping in saying, but look how cheap it is. You can buy a house for $20,000. You can buy a house for $5,000. I can buy a house with my credit card. Here, where can I swipe? Imagine that, you go there and you go into the States and you just buy a house with your credit card because it's so cheap. There's neighborhoods in these areas that no one's living. They've just, it's been, I don't know, like no one's living there. People are just abandoned, the whole neighborhood. They're actually going there and demolishing the whole neighborhood because no one wants to live there. And you want to go to these neighborhoods and try to justify why this area is, oh, it's good though, it's good. You know, it's cheap, I can get rent, I can get people to rent there. You know, okay, fine. Sure, I'm not saying every area is bad. There are areas that are good. But as a Canadian who's coming to me and telling me, let's just go buy in the States, you're getting all hyped up and with the excitement of buying something that's cheap because you can afford it on your credit card or you can buy it with your own cash in your bank account. Sure, that's appealing, right? But what is look at your goals. Like, is that what you really want to do? Is you want to go to the States and buy something that you really don't know anything about, and you can go there and you can find someone that's selling you a deal or another realtor over there that is just trying to convince you, yeah, you're right, it's cheap, so buy it. I can find you tenants. And meanwhile, if there's no jobs or very little jobs, the jobs are decreasing, those tenants that are going to be moving in, well, where are they getting the money from? Anyways, just have that in mind. Don't just speculate, don't just guess or hope, invest. So these are some of the things that I personally think that are not good things to invest in right now. But if you do decide to invest in them, really do your homework and understand what you're getting yourself into. As I stated in my previous blog, hope is not a strategy for success. Okay? You really need to do your homework and due diligence and focus on your goals and not just invest because you're hoping that things will happen. First and foremost, invest for cash flow, for numbers, and then, you know, add the other factors in there. Because during recessions, you want to prepare yourself for the worst. You want to prepare yourself to have enough cash flow to help you survive the recession or that next downfall. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.